Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joji Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today we are gonna talk about Fargo Season 5.
Episode 9.
Full
Spoiler alert.
ahead.
So, if you haven't seen Fargo Season 5, Episode 9, Fargo Season 5, all previous seasons of Fargo, and also Fargo the movie, please come back later.
If you are under 16, please come back later because we talk about violence and sexual content. Here we go. Man, like, Won-Jin, let me go first. This was a dark episode.
Yeah.
Man. Like,
very dark.
Oh, Zedzi, what's up? Oh, it's time for me to gloat. Please gloat, Zedzi. Tell us what's up. No, because I feel like me and Won-Jin, we were like 40 to 50% right in this weirdness.
Yeah,
that's
we were talking about what was going to happen with
the Gator.
Yeah.
And I did not expect that, though. Like, hey, I have a theory. I almost feel like that killer guy is like an angel. Or like a devil.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I mean, I love the fact that in the early part of the season, they gave us, like, kind of an idea what he might be.
Yeah.
Of him being, like, a sin eater hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
So, I can kind of now sense that he's somewhat, like, supernatural.
Yeah.
Or something.
I told you I was sure 100% the weird guy was going to spare Dot. Yeah, Zedzi. Yeah. Hey, because he has a moral code. And it's only the one he understands. But it almost, the show almost represented it as if he's getting it from a higher authority. Because he's basically saying to Gator, like, because, you know, remember, like, blindness is a common theme in the Bible. Because Samson is blinded.
That's right.
And it's a continuing theme. And I felt like it was like there was this divine punishment against Gator where, since you cannot see the reality around you, you don't deserve your eyes. And to Dot, you know, you are the oppressed. There is a sort of injustice here. So I vindicate you. And it was such an angel thing to do because, you know, in the Bible, God and angels are not really there to help you. You know, they tell you the direction, but you gotta pick up the spade and whether dig or fight. So there was this huge, like, to be honest, very unexpected for me, Won-Jin, because, like, I thought the prior seasons were, like, better at making it a little bit more ambiguous. But here, like, this grave, like, sin eater guy is he's like a hybrid of that season. Remember in season 3 there was this guy in the bowling alley that acts almost as God, and every time the Cossacks or the killer comes, he talks to them about, you know, their life.
Yeah.
I feel like the sin eater is like a combination of Chigurh and that guy.
Yeah. So, like you said, he has what season 3 guy had, plus the enforcer kind of element. So
he's like Watcher.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the unofficial Bible where not only do the angels actually come down to flesh and earth and enact a sort of like a justice of the cosmos. And that was just interesting.
And what I wonder is, will he intervene further from here? I mean,
oh yeah.
Is he gonna intervene with I think Dot's attempt at killing Roy? Because I was questioning myself, is this the end of his intervention, or will there be more? Yeah,
Zedzi is gloating to us now. Rightly so.
Not only did it spare her, he actually helped her get out. Yeah, and I also love its lines. Now the tiger is free.
It's almost like he's doing a human experiment.
It's philosophical concept to be above Platonian concept.
No, but another thing against that is, just like in No Country for Old Men, where we feel like Chigurh is almost unkillable, he gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
So, like, here, we already seen him injured and in danger, so he is not beyond the moral realm that he supposedly seemingly what he is, he's a human being that doesn't follow what humans believe to be rules.
My question is he also a human being?
No, but he was injured already, so.
Because it kind of gives us a vague idea, but he might be like hundreds of years old. If he's the same guy from like what they showed us of like the flashback from the flashback.
Yeah, but you have to remember that happened and then we never see another update again. So he could be implying more ideology because maybe he's like a descendant of that guy. Like it's up to the audience as us to interpret that. But he is representative of something going on there. But me personally, I did not feel like Gator deserved that though. Like,
I personally believe that Gator deserved to die.
I disagree.
Which is on the other side of the extreme. The other end of the spectrum. I hope that Gator would be killed, but he spared him.
No, but what did Gator actually do? He was an asshole, but
and killed that old lady. And he, like he said it in his own words, he just could not let it go.
No, but so to my defense, remember last time I said that was more like manslaughter? So it's not murder. It's not ill intent. It's a mistaken intent. So I felt like the punishment in a weird way, according to that Sin Eater's justice, it makes sense. And I thought he did have his own equation, which makes him actually even more dangerous. So that's why that comes to what would Roy's accounting be, right? Because it's really, being a Sin Eater means you're going to be accounted for your sins. So there's going to be a full accounting of how you lived your life, what are your sins, what are your goods. And if he's the agent to that, he's going to have a time with Roy too. Because honestly, I felt bad for Gator because relative to his father, he didn't do nothing. He's like a moon on Jupiter.
That's true.
His father is
and we can also see that Gator has been influenced by his father.
Yeah. No, but that still doesn't change the fact that his father is a greater sinner. Like in
and
like
also greater
term.
evil. Yeah, that's true.
No, because here's a man who had 3 wives, murdered one, made one run away, casually beats up his 3rd wife, and then, kills innocents for his own gains. I think that last episode is going to have this weird, like, dream-like, Requiem of the dream-like moment of John Hamm, like, getting killed by that Sin Eater. I think, like, at his most vulnerable moment.
You think he'll be killed by the Sin Eater or Dorothy?
I think he's going to be cornered. He might get wounded by Dorothy, and then he might be lying close to death. But I think that's when the Sin Eater is going to appear.
And he's going to finish him off.
Exactly, yeah. Because I feel like...
Yeah, that's a good way.
Yeah, because... I feel like Gator is redeemable. This is a Christian theme, a Judeo-Christian theme that this series have. Remember in prior seasons, the protagonist, like, accumulate so many sins. While we see that they were always tempted and not tempted, they chose the temptation. But the accumulation of those sins, eventually in the finale, we see them be punished for it.
Yeah. And
here, that 3rd wife is so annoying. She's getting her share of abuse, and she's still too stubborn to turn against her husband. Yeah, but
I kind of understand though. Because I think I don't know what it's called in psychology, but I think what she's doing is she's trying to justify her own choice. No, because she needs to hate on Dorothy to convince herself that she made the right decision.
No, and there's another 2 things. Like, her father is also...
Oh, interesting. Yeah, Odin, his name.
Yeah.
I after this episode, I kind of wish we had more take on Odin, because I think he's also a very interesting character.
And then the 2 twin daughters, too. So your mother trapped between a father who probably raised you that way. You have a husband that way. You have to protect your daughters. It's different from Dorothy in a way.
And I love the fact that Odin used Hitler as a reference.
Yeah.
A lot of Nazi vibe right there.
Yeah.
A conqueror. Are you Hitler at the Reichstag or in the bunker? Of all the references, you have to use Hitler?
No, but Won-Jin, that's why that's why this season is not season 2 or 3 level for me. Like the references are just so direct, and
It's kind of like in your face kind of references. Yeah.
And I can't help but think of like America Today, and it's such a direct commentary to it that I think this season kind of reflects our social media age too, where you know the nuance is gone, and you just say those things directly.
You know, when John Hamm is calling for help using that broadcast, it gave me. I mean, I recall the incident on January 6th when, you know, these so-called patriots stormed the Capitol. Yeah, it gave me a lot of that vibe.
I did love the human bond between Dorothy and Lorraine, though.
Oh, yeah, with the phone call.
Yeah, because Lorraine gave her most human-like speech ever. My daughter.
She calls her a daughter.
Yeah. Fight! Fuck all that! And then like Indira jumps in and don't fight, run. And then that was kind of like
find a place to hide.
And you can call you can see like Dorothy getting pumped up by her mother support. Hey, but it is like I love that scene because Dorothy and Lorraine couldn't be more different than each other, yet they can find common ground of being a woman struggling in a difficult world. I thought that was a very convincing feminist moment for me. It reminded me a lot of like old movies where you would have like a old matriarch bring in the new person from the family and tell her that, you know, this is our lot. Remember, even in the House of the Dragons, you know, Rhaenys was it, the queen that never was. There's this bond with the queen that would be, and I love that maternal moment because like that is a feminist thing to do because we see that all the time among men. You know, and as men, I can say in real life we do have these father and mentor figures, but I like that continuing with the woman too. And she's literally fighting for her life, Dorothy.
And I also found it against my expectation that Lorraine, instead of using her own personal security, she called the help of the state and federal forces to storm on Tillman's ranch. And I love that scene especially because I love how Roy Tillman, although he can just walk out, he gets on a horse and he rides on a horse out to meet the commander of the FBI on the scene.
No, it's very smart of Lorraine because why would I waste my own troops when I can call in another troop for a favor that I probably did for them
and of a greater authority.
So, Lorraine was so good in this episode. It's the mother instinct combined with the fact that they're both women and they don't need to know each other to know each other. I mean, like, man, like, hey, Won-Jin, I gotta say, this season has been a really mixed bag for me. On one side, I do feel like on some elements it's better than season 3 and 4. At times, like, I feel like the height of season 2 will never be matched, though. Because remember, guys, season 2 had these elements already. There was the grandmother and granddaughter element there.
The season 1 and 2 would never be surpassed. But I'm thoroughly enjoying this season because I think, in my personal opinion, it's better than season 4 in every way. Still,
this season for me, you know who got the most out of this season? I feel like it's Juno Temple. I had
tremendous performance so far.
Like I did not know her range and her losing that baby fat when we saw her young. Like her playing a mother and this dynamic character, that was so fascinating to me. I did not know she had this caliber. Like this season is basically making like Juno Temple go for the Emmy and stuff. Because John Hamm, because me and Won-Jin, we're big fans of John Hamm, by the way.
John Hamm also has tremendous range. Watch him on SNL or like comedy movies like Bridesmaids, where he makes like he plays a minor part. He's hilarious. He can be funny as hell. But when we saw him in what's it called, Baby Driver. Baby Driver, he can be like a psychopath, murderer. And we see him in shows like Mad Men. He's a great actor. So we already knew that he was gonna do his part.
Yeah.
Like he was gonna outdo his part. But Juno Temple, I mean, she's a surprise.
Yeah. No, but in this season, like, I hope it's the opposite of season 4, because like season 4, I felt like could be shorter, but this season, like, it's really the next episode is the last episode. So, what do you think? Do you think Dorothy's gonna make it?
Yeah, I think she's gonna make it, and I think, you know how all these shows always have this arc where it returns to what was going on in the mundane life of the first episode. She's gonna make that pancake for Scotty.
You think so?
Yeah. She's gonna make that pancake for Scotty because that was her goal in the first season. I mean, not first season, first episode.
No, but Won-Jin, to counter almost every protagonist in Fargo ends up a tragedy, you know, unless you're a cop. If you're a cop, you're all right, you know, like historically, like season 1, 2, 3, 4, if you think about it, unless you're a cop, if you're the protagonist of this, remember season 2, like Fat Damon
that is very possible, but judging from this episode that we just saw, the fact that divine intervention feeling, the creepy dude setting Dot free, kind of gives me like a more optimistic perspective. I mean, optimistic outlook on Juno Temple.
Maybe her and John Hamm is gonna have a Mexican standoff, and they're both gonna get shot, and Dorothy will die, and John Hamm survives. But that's maybe when the Sin Eater comes and finishes him, because he deserves to die too. Because I feel like Dorothy might get a tragedy here, because listen, Won-Jin, listen to me. You gotta remember, this world is already cruel against women. Like, her having a vindicated life may be against what the show has been telling us. Because the show has been telling us that this is a cruel world against women, and I think that's why she might get a tragic ending. That's my theory. I don't think it's gonna be a happy one. Maybe she'll have a vision of that pancake before she dies. But I feel like John Hamm, being the malicious force that he is, maybe will fatally wound Dorothy, and he himself will be fatally wounded, but the Sin Eater will come and collect his sin, because John Hamm deserves to die. So I think that might be what's going to happen here. And I hope the African American cop is safe too, though.
I think he'll be okay.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be okay.
So you think that Gator is gonna kill himself because he won't be able to handle the fact? No, I actually think Gator is gonna make it. I think because with his eyes blinded, he's finally gonna see, and he might do some retribution against John Hamm. But I feel like he's gonna walk the earth blind, like unlike Samson, where he's not gonna get a grand final moment, or maybe. But I do feel like Gator has a higher chance of survival than Dorothy, actually.
I don't know, but I just have this hunch that Dorothy's gonna manage to survive. And like you said, in a way that this season has been, well, it's kind of a harsh word, but it has been subpar compared to, you know, seasons like 1 or 2.
Prior seasons.
Yeah. So maybe it's not gonna give us that deep tragedy.
I don't know though, but like I mean, that's a good theory. But in Fargo's universe, deserve has nothing to do with what's coming to you, you know.
And I think, well, if I think about season 1, you know, Martin Freeman, he was tempted by all these different temptations. He makes the wrong choice and eventually pays the price. But with this season, I think it's different, because I don't think Juno Temple was in the face of temptation. She was trying to escape pain and suffering. So I think it might go a different direction.
I mean, you might be though, because like if we take the Sin Eater route, what sin has she actually committed, right? But she already committed the great sin of fraud. She lied to her husband, lied to her mother-in-law, lied to her. So, like, we see her human side, but in this cosmic law, like, does that count as a sin though? Because
Okay.
I have a feeling that Dorothy's gonna die. It is gonna be after she kills
her ex-husband. She's gonna die stupid
That make no sense. It just shows the hand of faith.
Oh, okay. That's also a good ending if that happens.
No, because like my question is, but Dorothy's husband might deserve better than Dorothy. I'm not saying they didn't have a authentic relationship.
Yeah, but I think she still has a lot of love for the family, and I think her husband does too. Because the fact that when she got the first chance to call someone, she called her family.
No, for our subscribers, if you notice, Won-Jin has a very clear-cut view on morality. Justice! The wrongdoers must die!
We need Reacher to appear in this episode.
Yeah. No, but I think it's so hard to predict, though. Because, but like season 3 and 4, I just keep... Remember, even in season 4, Chris
Rock?
Chris Rock's character gets shot. And, like, he's presented as a sympathetic character, but he is not without sin either. And I feel like...
I don't think he was a character that deserved my sympathy, though. Because, after all, he was kind of like a loan shark, wasn't he?
No, but deserve that got nothing to do with it, Won-Jin. These are all human beings struggling to live a life. And I think the show is also playing on audiences like yourself. Because, you know, in conventional wisdom, you might be right, but I think the show is really great at flipping that.
Because, I mean, Chris Rock's character, he was also driven by greed. Juno Temple's character is not driven by greed.
No, see, this is why I disagree with that. Like Chris Rock's character is driven by respect in a way. Like they're all dirty, but he wants to get respected. But the show continues shows that because he's African American, because he's black, he doesn't get what he believes is like his dignity and his right. So I think it's up to audiences to interpret that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't see Dot as a sinner because all she did was because she had to defend herself. So I'm not sure if that would consider it as a sin. Yeah, that's also a good angle. That's why if you remember, I asked her. I asked because is her lie to her husband a big fraud? You know, because in the Bible, it does says, "Thou shalt not lie."
Yeah, that's the Bible, but this is America, land of freedom and opportunities.
No, but to be honest, this is Fargo. So in Fargo, because remember in season 3, Ian McGuinn's twin dies.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta ask, like, how complicit is he on the damage this has caused?
Yeah,
and here, because Dorothy ran away,
and because she chose not to be honest about her past,
exactly.
Her husband gets electrocuted.
Graves dies because of her. So I'm saying, like, how complicit is she?
That's true.
And I'm not rebuking what you say. I'm saying, like, there's just a lot of angles to consider here. But anyway, guys.
But I, personally, I hope she will manage to survive because she's been through so much to be where she is. So I kind of wish that she will eventually manage to get out.
Yeah. But anyway, I think shall we give a number grade now?
I would give this episode
like an 8.
I would give it like an 8.
Yeah. Like for me, I if you think of it from that angle, that is the core of everything that is happening. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and that's what Fargo is all about.
Like the universe works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
Like Won-Jin brought it out. He just said, "I don't deserve it," but the universe might say, "Fuck that." They might have a different measurements like system than us. You know, like Fargo is weird that way. If that didn't exist, yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. The fraud, her lie to her husband has caused so many misery and pain to people that are, maybe not deserving of it. And how accountable is she for that? Anyway, I give it an 8 too, actually, because Won-Jin, like looking at the past 3 episodes, like the episode 7 was the best. The one with the puppet
past?
show. Yeah.
Oh, the puppet show. Yeah, that was a brilliant episode.
It was a very visceral one where you couldn't tell what was going on, but it also hit us in the emotional core at the end.
And as soon as you realize, like you said, that was all a dream, it hits you harder.
Yeah. But this one was 8. I feel like this one is definitely a prelude to the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I also give it an 8 because it's like it's just like a build-up episode.
Oh, ZZ, I would give it a 9.5. I really like this one. Oh. So that tells us a lot about ZZ. The blind thing. I'm just kidding. ZZ.
And the Lorraine and the sisterhood moment.
Yeah. No, the sisterhood was awesome. That saved a lot. But the blinding was some weird-ass cult shit, if you ask me. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But we would give it an 8. 9.5 is respected. Eye for an eye. Oh man, that's gonna open up another huge discussion though. Like Gator did try to kill. Oh, anyway. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to Uchanong too. We saw your comment on the prior.
That's right.
podcast.
We know you're there.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We really are grateful for your support. Please leave a reply and like. We might have done that, Jurassic Park, but I think Scott Walker is not here with us today. Yeah. So maybe next time we will.
And next week we will have the finale for both of these shows, Reacher, Fargo. And then we will have the discussion on the brother-son.
Yeah, no shit.
After the finale. And we also have this show called the Echo,
the
one with Kingpin.
Yeah.
So we might watch that and we might talk about it next week.
Yeah, Kingpin and Daredevil is one of our favorite characters, so we will definitely be going back to that. Yeah. Anyway, guys, hey, big shout out to ZZ. Thank you for streaming. No, thank you for tuning in. Please always join us. We broadcast every Saturday, KSD 7:30 p.m. We were a little late today. Sorry for that. But around that time, thank you so much. This has been Jojin Movie So Awesome. I was Joe.
I was Won-Jin.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Pigeons. Pigeons. Eagles. Hawks. Falcons.
I don't know what falcons sound like. Okay.